The heads tonight. Teenage boy roasts himself in sacrifice to Chris Kelly. Heseltine fading fast. And headmaster suspended for using big-faced child as satellite dish. This is the news. This is the news. Coming up, why can't I be king, bleats Patton.
What is unreasonable about that proposal?
And Mad Lord says it's not too late for Freddie Mercury.
I'd recommend she went to her local benefits agency office, sought advice there, and I'm sure she'd find that as likely as not, by getting hold of family credit, she might find herself considerably better off.
News. London Transport say they may have to close the underground system due to an infestation of horses. A report described the conditions in the equine plague as like an abattoir in a power cut. Ted Moore reports.
For years, the system of tunnels and shafts has harboured a small population of wild horses without bothering the commuters. The only pest control necessary was performed by the teams of fluffers, who to this day remove clots of hair from the tracks.
See the hair?
Then, in 1970, came the crackers, special staff who had to patrol the darkened tunnels every day and kill the horses with hammers. But now, say officials, the horses have become a menace.
Due to a large pile of horses blocking the line at Marble Arch, all services have been cancelled.
Many of the drivers are heavily traumatised. Only one today could describe the conditions.
Loads of horses, at least 30, I'd say. As a train approaches, they start running away from the train. Stampede in the opposite direction, like.
And what the drivers say they fear most of all is a head-on collision with a blind tube mare.
Well, it's instant death. It comes straight through the cab window, crushes you to death. Personally, I think the management should round him up. Get rid of him.
And in a statement issued just 10 minutes ago, the Home Secretary announced that he personally will be going into the tunnels this weekend, armed with a special gun.
The Day Today. News from telly to belly.
Now from the Day-to-Day Travel Tower, a mile above the centre of Great Britain, here's Valerie Sinatra. Valerie, how's it all looking? Nice?
Well, a bucket load of mixed blessings for you down on the ground, Chris. Let's take a look, first of all, at the M18. That's starting to clear now after that quiet stretch of the A49 was brought down from Stirling earlier on, so that's very good news. The M11, on the other hand, is still very busy indeed. It's nose to tail, coaches, cars, pedestrians. And in fact, if you take a close look, you might just be able to make out a piece of pie down there on the road. That's not going to be helping anyone at all. You'll have heard earlier on the news about the motorway pile-up this afternoon. The M6, the M58, the M61 and the M56 all collided, so safer to avoid that altogether. Good news, however, on the A12. Those earlier congestions have now cleared, so you should have no problems at all if you want to go there and bathe a child. Finally, a warning to speeding motorists. Police marksmen have now been stationed on all major roads in and out of London. That means anybody caught speeding can be shot in the chin, so best to avoid that too. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Valerie. That was great.
Thanks a lot. Take care. See you soon.
Take care too, right? See you tomorrow?
I will.
Yeah,
I hope so, yeah.
OK,
Take care. Ciao, Chris. Bye.
The BBC has confirmed that it's ditching the 9 o'clock news in favour of a new soap opera called The Bureau. It's set in a 24-hour bureau de change. It started just 12 seconds ago on BBC One, so let's dip into it and see what all the fuss is about.
Hi, Alex.
Oh, hi, Maria. Didn't see you there. I just popped in to see how you were.
Don't want to talk about it now. We'll discuss it later.
Yeah, well, that suits me just fine.
It's a nice colour you've got in your hair, Ange. What is it? Chili hot pepper?
No, just a bit of henna. You got a problem?
No. You bloody cow!
Hey! What's going on here? This is supposed to be a high-class bureau de change. Not some two-bit Punch and Judy show down on the seafront at Margate.
It's all right, Mr. Hennity. It's OK now. Just a little misunderstanding.
Shut it!
Why?
Because...
Because I'm gay? Is that it? Go on. Say it.
You're on borrowed time, sunshine. And as for you, you can pack your bags. You're out!
Alan, sport.
Thanks, Chris. Well, it was a very amusing incident on the golf
Sorry,
course
Alan,
today.
I'm going to have to interrupt you there. We've just heard news of a dramatic incident. The Queen and John Major have had a fight. It's believed to have happened during the Prime Minister's weekly meeting at Buckingham Palace. On the big screen now is our correspondent, Jennifer Gumpertz.
The Prime Minister's weekly meeting normally lasts an hour, but today he was seen to leave hurriedly after just 17 minutes. It's clear that a strong disagreement took place, a disagreement which may have involved physical violence. Some palace staff said they heard loud swearing voices and the sound of bodies falling against furniture. One said he saw Mr. Major emerge with a red mark across his face and bleeding legs. Seconds after the Prime Minister's departure, the Queen's doctor arrived at speed and ran inside. Neither the Palace nor Downing Street have issued an official statement so far.
And a few moments ago, we received this amateur video footage which seems to show that the Queen and John Major were involved in some kind of drubbing incident. And as a result of that broadcast, the crisis has deepened dramatically. I'm joined by our crisis correspondent, Spartacus Mills. Spartacus, this is huge history happening, isn't it?
It's bigger than that, Chris. It's large. I mean, if you've got a history book at home, take it out, throw it in the bin. It's worthless. The history books now will have to be rewritten.
What will they say?
They'll quite simply say, John Major punched the Queen. Everything else will be a footnote.
A push for time. Can you sum it up in a word?
No.
A sound? Spartacus, thank you. Alan, sport.
Thanks, Chris. Well, as I said, it really was...
Shut it, Alan. I want you to stop. All programmes have now been suspended on all channels to allow the broadcast of this film held in reserve for times of crisis.
Britain is a nation built on the very scowling face of adversity. Its dauntless spirit unbowed by any crisis. This is Britain at its best. This is Britain, and in this glittering sea, this perfect fusion of man and mineral, we know that conflict will always perish in the brotherhood of flags. This is Britain, and everything's all right. Everything's all right. It's okay. It's fine.
During that film, we've been watching number 10. There isn't much going on there at the moment, but both sides have now agreed a solution to the crisis, which will involve the Queen processing 2 number 10 and returning several punches to Mr. Major's face. That won't happen for a while now, so let's take the business. Killatley sisters, how many number 10s are there in your report?
Thanks, Chris. There was a big smell of fear in the city today when leisure conglomerate Bottington Fiasco fell 10%,
There's one.
leaving the cup open for a hammer bid from Silica Fist Fruit at 12. There were no dollars today. I'm Collaterally Sisters. On to the money markets. Quick look at the currency kidney. There's a lot of pressure there on the Bundeswechsel, leading to a slight inflammation in the exchange tract, causing a negative flow of waste pounds across all international membranes. So in summary then, seven's a bit younger. Chris.
Later tonight on BBC Two, another probing interview in the dentist's chair. This week's guest is Richard Branson.
That's nice and wide, lovely. You know, you're in the public eye quite a lot, but at home, what are you, a private? Or would you prefer being a public person? Yeah? Yeah? Well, Richard Branson, thanks very much for coming in the dentist's chair. I'll just clean you up now, okay?
And then at 8:30...
John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu.
That's John Fashanu tonight on BBC Two.
Coming up, the Queen marches on Downing Street. There she is in a cart. And whatever next in the bureau. The soap opera that's got them all in a lather.
Oh my God! Ange!
Pills! Someone call an ambulance.
Don't bother. She's dead.
There's a note for you.
It's Hennety's fault. Look, I never thought I'd say this, right, but pull down the blinds. I'm closing the bureau for an hour.
A large build-up of air traffic over London has tonight jammed solid in the sky. Thousands of aircraft have ground to a halt in mid-air and may soon start falling like massive buses.
The air jam started around 2 o'clock this afternoon, bringing chaos to Heathrow and Gatwick, both airports today. In an air jam, there's a 3D gridlock in the air and no way out. The planes just slow down and stop. It's been known for years that air jam could happen, but no emergency measures were ever made. The last-minute efforts of Transport Secretary John McGregor this afternoon did little to help.
Is he always breaking things?
The irony is that while these people lie around like the dead, those in the air will actually die and end up like the ratatouille these people ate at the canteens, which are responding to strong demand at the moment here.
Time now for our resident humorist Brant, the physical cartoonist from the Daily Telegraph, to roast the hell out of everybody with his pomposity pistol. Mr. Brant, do something that'll make them, and I mean any politician watching this, feel really ashamed.
Thanks, Chris. This week, Bill Clinton has shown that, like Icarus, he can't stand the political heat.
America now, and this report.
Milwaukee State Penitentiary, and on death row, it's wedding bells, not execution yells, as condemned strangler Chapman Baxter prepares to tie the knot with female felon Charlene Gray.
Can't hear you.
Baxter goes to the electric chair tomorrow, but not before he weds Charlene, a convicted arsonist who set his heart on fire.
I ain't never loved nobody, nobody never loved me. When I met Charlene, it just was like a bolt from blue, and just fell in love and just figured, why the hell not? Why shouldn't I get married? Just like a real regular person. We ain't gonna go no older. We're just gonna get up there on this kind of double electric chair, and then I put the ring on Charlene's finger that connects the circuit, and then when we kiss, it completes the circuit, and then you know what's gonna happen.
Meanwhile, Baxter's bride-to-be is busy with last-minute preparations for her impending ending. Did you ever kill anyone?
Only my dog.
The preparations for the connubial killing will start at 11 a.m. when Charlene Gray will walk down the aisle and straight into a sit-down reception. There's even a wedding cake for this wedding wake, but for presiding minister Alvin Holler, it's the bride, not the cake, who'll end up with the most tears.
So why she won't go do a goddamn thing like that for?
Did you try to counsel the bride?
Yes, ma'am. She's sure pretty.
But not for long.
No, ma'am. She gonna die like a dog.
It's the morning of the nupticution, and everything's ready to give these newly deads a sizzling send-off.
the ring on her finger. And now for that, you man and wife. You may kiss your bride. Clear the area!
So, as Chapman Baxter leaves his bride jolted at the altar, looks like this is one wedding where we all get to toast the happy couple. Barbara Winogreen, CBN News, Milwaukee State Penitentiary.
Time now for the weather with Sylvester Stewart.
Starting in the southeast, where it should be dull and drizzly in the morning, a bit like waking up next to a corpse. In Wales, it should start off nice, but bits of unpleasant old weather should drift back by the afternoon and the rain will bitch down. Things should improve in the northeast and the southwest, which should collide towards mid-afternoon, and there'll be loud thunderstorms later in the evening, about the volume of a Thin Lizzy concert. In summary, then, And that's all the weather.
Wise words there from Sylvester Stewart. Time now for sport with Alan Partridge. Alan, you're a bit of a word man, aren't you?
I certainly am. Like words. Where would we be without them? Help you when you're having a chat.
Yeah, do you feel them as they come out?
Yeah, certainly do.
What do they feel like, then?
Yeah, something like that.
Do long words feel different from short ones?
Yeah, yeah.
What about significant words? What do they feel like? Alan.
What?
What do significant words feel like as they come out? Do they feel different?
Yes, yes. I'm Alan Partridge.
Buttress is a significant word, isn't it?
Yeah. This is Sports Desk. Football. The Liverpool versus Tanners match ended last night with defeat for the Tanners. I visited their dressing room. The atmosphere here hangs heavy, like a big smell. The smell of men together, the smell of cat's musk. Bob Mariner, you missed the penalty. Why?
Yeah, Alan, it was a bad one. It took the top of my boot. It was all over in an instant.
You look really stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't a good performance. I'm going to try and take a shower now. Look on to the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are you going to wash away the stain of defeat?
Yeah. Get clean now and look on to the next. Start again in the rest of the season.
Yeah, but when you go home with your, you get to bed with your wife tonight. You watch the other VHS. You're going to sleep with her. She sees a stain on your body, and she says, "Bob, remove the stain." Will you remove it?
I'm not married, Alan. I'm not married.
Oh, mate, you've got a girlfriend though. On to show jumping. And I managed to catch up with the Australian dazzler, Katrina Parfitt, after this morning's big horse event. Katrina, quick word. Let me say, you look fantastic on a horse.
Thank you very much.
You're like the Lone Ranger on Tonto.
Oh.
How do you feel?
Well, I feel disappointed. I didn't quite make it this time, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
I was personally gutted because I love those little touches you add, the way you turn, smile at the judge.
Well...
A little wave, a little wink.
It doesn't go on looks and smiles, it goes on a lot of skill and discipline.
I'm sure it does, but let me tell you, if I'd have been a judge, I would have been a complete mess.
Right.
What about the horse? How's that handling?
Well, Sedanzik wasn't doing too well. He shied away from the water jump, and that's when I really began to lose it.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, if you ever have any more problems with him, you can ride me round the paddock.
Thank you. Anyway, I think that next year I'll have better luck.
How do you ride a horse?
How do I ride?
How do you ride a horse?
Well, I've been riding since the age of about 5. I don't think it's anything you can learn. I think it's something that's in the blood.
Sedanzik.
He's my horse, yeah. And I shall be back next year and I shall win on him.
You tell him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you. Katrina Parfitt, a lady.
A fact, alone and tumbling through infospace. Without help, it could vanish forever. Because only this can make it a news.
Here with comments on some of the stuff we've just seen, our resident reactor, Jacques Livereau, who's been commenting on everything since the start of the programme. He just sort of gets on with it as we go along. Let's dip into him now.
If we could see politics, what would it look like? A cube, but with all its corners on the inside.
Back now to the constitutional crisis. The Queen processes to Downing Street today to punch John Major back in the face. Huge crowds are gathering there already. Our reporter down among it all, Jonathan Sizz.
Thank you very much.
It really is a magnificent potato of a day here today. This, of course, the route that Princess Anne will be taking. She is the Queen's second. The Queen herself will be going down the Mall, through Admiralty Arch, around Trafalgar Square, and then on down Whitehall itself to number 10. I've been meeting some of the people here who've been getting terribly excited over the last 24 hours.
It's nice to see the Queen bouncing back today, wasn't it?
Indeed it was.
A good quality bounce?
Most certainly.
And do you think the Prime Minister is going to lose today?
I couldn't honestly say.
It's going to be a close one, isn't it? But is it quite right that the Queen should end up on top?
Yes, certainly.
If you were right there, able to administer on-the-spot justice to somebody who had punched the monarch in the face, what would you do to them if you were right there, standing next to them, bang, and so on?
Well, I would immediately smother the person, whoever it was, if anybody attempted to assault the sovereign.
If you'd been there on the day, you would have smothered the man, Major?
Yes.
With your own clothing?
Yes.
Yes. Or anything else that came to hand? Cloths?
Yes.
Blankets?
Yes.
Even a handkerchief?
Yeah. And
what would you have said to him as you smothered him?
No, I wouldn't have said anything at all.
No words, just physical action?
Physical action, that's all it's called for.
Flatten the bugger?
That's right.
And we gather that whilst that was going on, the Queen took a secret tunnel straight into number 10 and may already be inside.
This afternoon, opposition MPs turned up to weaken the Prime Minister. That was part of the deal too. And throughout the day, he'd received a stream of colleagues to use as sparring partners and tactical pain advisors, including Kenneth Clarke, Michael Howard, Christopher Biggins and Michael Heseltine. Mr. Major then received strength from supporters and well-wishers, including pop star George Michael.
And our cameras have been rolling all the time. I'm told if we turn the sound up, it is possible to hear Her Majesty's arrival and the solemn punching up. And to commemorate the end of the crisis, the Post Office has released a special stamp featuring the Queen and John Major kissing.
If democracy is a bra, then the monarchy are breasts, and we cannot imagine a society without breasts. Hélas.
And it's difficult not to feel humbled or even ashamed after that. Soul reversal. We're looking today at soul reversal. Is that a good or a bad thing?
A good thing.
Would you like to see it happening more often?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
If you... Is it the sort of thing that you can feel, or does it happen slowly?
Slowly? Yeah, slowly. Definitely slowly.
Can you feel it beginning to happen or not?
Yes. Yeah.
You can, and what's the sensation like as you experience soul reversal yourself?
Not very nice.
Would you like to see soul reversal more in crowded areas like football matches, or quiet areas like churches?
No, football matches.
Bit of soul reversal, a football match from the players as well?
Yeah, or certainly from the players, yeah.
By what sort of degree would you like to see the soul reversed? How much?
All the way, I think.
Well, yeah. Let's look at it like this. Could you hold the microphone for me a second and I'll just show you?
Yeah.
If we, taking a standard soul in, like that, and something to reverse it on, like this, with 90, 180, 270, or 360, how much would you like to see it reversed by?
Half.
Like this?
I think around half.
Oh, yeah. So you'd like to see that as the ideal soul reversal for a football match?
Definitely, yeah.
The day today approaches the buffet with an extremely broad plate.
And more from the day-to-day special Germ in the Pipe documentary on life at St Lamb's swimming pool in Acton.
I'm a pool supervisor, the night supervisor. I basically watch the monitors at night to see if anything occurs. There was one incident, I remember it quite clearly. I was filling in a puzzle and I heard the noise. It was a commotion up in the rafters, and somehow, we never know even to this day, a pigeon had got in, was flapping around in the rafters. We called the bird specialists. They removed it in the morning.
I'm really sorry this has occurred. If you'd like to talk to Vicky afterwards, you know, we welcome you having a few free swims at the pool at our expense because it's very unfortunate. So please do talk to Vicky.
I mean, I think
Very
it's
sorry,
by Alexis the health and something.
Yeah, you'll get an early bird swim, all right?
Just shut it. Just shut it, right? Just cut it out now. Cut it out now.
I'm never tempted to use the pool myself at night, although some time ago I used to go down and take showers, and on one occasion I went down and to the pool and found a woman's swimming costume which I put on and paraded around singing a song, Joan Baez protest song.
This is procedural inaccuracy. What are we supposed to do when there's a roach in the pool?
Ooh.
What are we supposed to shout?
Say Mr. Linus is in the pool.
And what did you shout? Oh my God, there's a cockroach. I mean, this is indicative of what's been going on all along.
Shut up, it's not funny.
It's not funny, actually.
This pool's been open nearly 40 years, and in all that time I only slipped up once, to my mind. I was engaged in a particularly tricky word puzzle, and 40 people had broken in, were in the pool, playing around, sort of ducking, bombing, doing all manner of prohibited activities, and eventually someone was killed.
But given that your sole responsibility is to maintain the security of the pool, isn't that an indictment against yourself?
Well, I would say this. I've been working here for 18 years. In 1975, no one died. In 1976, no one died. In 1977, no one died. In 1978, no one died. In 1979, no one died. In 1980, someone died. In 1981, no one died. In 1982, there was the incident with a pigeon. In 1983, no one died. In 1984, no one died. In 1985, no one died. In 1986, I mean, I could go on. No. Right.
Ultra News.
Just time for a quick look at tomorrow's headlines. Today, you could blow notes across the holes in his head, says Sinatra Doc. The Herald Tribune go with boiled dog could do maths, claims experimenter. The European, elastic song strangles Hucknall. The Daily Telegraph and other broadsheets feature tabs here down the side for ease of turning the pages. And the Independent go with Portillo's face felt like guts, says Girl. That's it, just to let you know that police are still looking for the actor Burt Reynolds after he stole a Dodgem and drove it out of a fairground in Islington. The 59-year-old American eluded capture after a low-speed car chase and was last seen heading north on the M11 near Saffron Walden. That's it. Good night.